Happy Saturday. Welcome to another edition of the Stretching and Strengthening Show. I'm Angel, in case you don't know. I think most of you do. But then again, maybe you're new. That rhymes, so you know it's true. I'm feeling silly as usual, entertaining myself and holding myself to my agreements with myself. So coming in for a little body check, a little stretching and strengthening, and as usual I invite you to join me to whatever degree feels good in your body. If it does, I encourage you to do a little breathing, a little smiling, a little stretching, and a little strengthening. Give yourself a little self-love. Whatever else you're into, whether you want to follow along with me or do your own thing, is of course perfect. Well, sunny out, but the sun has gone away. That's okay, because I have a day in the office today for the first time in weeks. I'm kind of looking forward to it. But first, let's take that little break and do a little body check. I'm going to take a couple breaths to bring my attention into the bottoms of my feet. Just take a couple nice deep breaths. Letting go of each breath to make room for the next breath. Hanging myself from the center of the universe, and I'm going to just roll down nice and slow, checking in with the spine, aiming the hands for the floor, coming past the waist to the hips. I'm just hanging here for a breath or so. Let the neck go, let the spine unwind, let gravity do some of the unwinding. Relaxing the belly, and then I'm going to roll up nice and slow again. Just still checking in with the spine. Check in with the stretchy shirt too. It's all good. It's a good time to remind you, you don't need any special equipment, any special area, or any special outfit to give yourself a little playful movement, a little stretching, a little strengthening. Of course, yoga pants are good for everybody all the time, but also if you got unstretchy jeans on, that's okay too. Especially if you're somewhere where nobody can see you. What does it matter? But even if you're somewhere that people can see you, there's things you can do, like swinging your arms, like just taking a nice deep breath, like let's do some shoulder shrugs. That's a good thing to do throughout the day, or at least once a day. I like to breathe in and imagine I'm sticking gold dust to everywhere there's tension. And then just blow off that gold dust. I like to let the arms swing, alternating left over right and right over left. Let's do one more of those, tensing up. Breathing in, can add the fists and the wrists and the arms, and even clench your butt, tense up the whole body, and then just blow off that tension. Let it go, shake it out. I think it's underappreciated how much most of us got the habit of brushing our teeth every day down and changing our socks every day down and washing our bodies, but we forget about letting go of negativity, releasing stress. Put that stress down for a minute. You can pick it back up if you wanna, or new stresses will arrive, guaranteed. You don't need to even keep yesterday's stresses. Thank you for the love. I do appreciate it. Let's do another forward fold, this time with a flat back. Coming down from the hips. I like to call it a swan dive down. Aiming for the ground. Just again, letting the back go. Letting the spine unwind. Relaxing the belly. relaxing the back. And then I'm going to bend the knees, swing the arms back, come into a bit of a counter stretch, pushing the hips forward, raising the eyes to look past those fingertips, and coming back to neutral. Shake that out a little bit. Shake it to the left and shake it to the right. Let's do another swan dive down from the hips. Coming all the way down toward the floor. I'm going to walk these feet out into a bit of a straddle and do some side-to-side dipping with the hips. Dipping on the right, dipping on the left, dipping on the right again. Yes, I realize you can't really see me. I'll do it a different way next time. On the left, and again dipping on the right, and again dipping on the left. Let's walk these feet back under the hips, bend the knees, swing the arms back. Coming again into that counter stretch, lifting the eyes, lifting the arms, pushing the hips forward. Shaking that out a little bit. I'm going to bring the arms behind the back, clasping hands, pressing palms, rolling the shoulder blades towards each other, rolling the elbows towards each other, and increasing that back bend a little bit, pulling the fingertips down. Just enjoying that. Stretch through the front, and then let's bring the hands width, stretching forward from the hips again. Giving the back a little massage with those shoulder blades. Just kind of actively stretching through the front. Gonna have to adjust that shirt, and then let's roll up, stacking one vertebra on the next. Just checking in with the spine again. Shake that all out. I'm going to step back with the left foot to a nice moderate lunge. Scooch around here so I can get in the camera frame. Pressing that back heel down. Checking that the front knee is not crunching past the toes. Shifting the hips onto the perpendicular line, feet on a parallel line. So pulling this back hip forward, forward hip back. Tipping the tailbone under a little bit. Looking for a nice long and strong line through the abdomen and spine. Working together from the core. Bring these arms up, making sure not to crunch up in those shoulders. And then I'm going to push onto the diagonal, pushing out that heel, sliding that back a little bit, through the spine and out the fingertips. Just enjoying that diagonal line. And then I'm going to shift this back heel onto the perpendicular line, checking out this side plane here, and then bending from the hip into a side twisting triangle, bringing that left hand up to gaze past the fingertips, and then bringing it down again onto that diagonal line, pushing out the heel, out the fingertips, making sure my shirt isn't stretching into indecent territory. It's alright, I got layers on, we're all good. I'm going to bring this hand down, shifting that back foot onto the toe, into a nice deep lunge on the inside of that right leg, and then bringing weight onto the hands, bringing that leg back to meet the back foot, and pressing through the palms, through the spine, tipping the tailbone toward the back of the head, pressing into both heels, pressing the heart toward the center of the earth, the heels toward the earth. And then let's swing forward, bringing the body, bringing the chest up through the shoulders, letting the belly drop. Bringing those legs together to protect the low back. Gazing up with the eyes. Got a little tongue stretch for silliness and goodness if you feel like it. It's really trying to relax through that belly. And then raising those hips again, pushing back through the palms, through the spine, tipping the tailbone again, pressing those heels down, and swinging that back foot, the left foot. They're both back feet. Swinging the left foot forward in between the hands into a nice deep lunge. I like to bounce in the lunge a little bit. You bounce if it feels good to bounce. Don't bounce if it don't feel good to you. And bringing that back foot forward to meet the front foot. Hanging here again in forward fold. Just releasing the back, releasing the belly, releasing the neck. Bring hands onto head or hair. Add just a little bit of weight there to help elongate the spine. And then I'm going to bend the knees, swing the arms back. Coming again into that counter stretch, pushing the hips forward, lifting the eyes and hands. And coming back to neutral. Shake that out again. And I'm going to step back with the right foot. Again into a moderate lunge, pulling that back hip forward, forward hip back, tipping the tailbone, pressing into that back heel, making sure that the front knee doesn't crunch past the front toes. Bringing the arms up overhead, making sure not to crunch up in those shoulders. Remembering to breathe and smile, whatever else you're doing. And then pushing onto the diagonal, sliding that back heel out just a little bit more. Feeling for that energetic line, out the heel, through the spine, out the fingertips. And then shifting that heel forward a little bit onto the perpendicular line, looking for this side plane here, opening the hips. That's still pulling this knee out this way and pulling this back hip toward the back now. For a hip opener, and then I'm going to bend from the hip, sliding that back heel out a little bit, bringing left hand and leg together for torque and support, and bringing the right hand up to gaze past those fingertips in a nice side twisting triangle aeroplane pose. And I'm going to bring this hand down onto the diagonal, still feeling for that diagonal line energy. And bringing this hand down on the inside of that left leg for a nice deep lunge. And then bringing weight on the hands, bringing that front foot back to meet the back foot and pressing through the palms, through the spine, tipping the tailbone toward the back of the head, and pressing into the heels. Let's tread those heels a little bit. Bending the right knee, pressing into the left. Bending the left knee, pressing into the right. And again, pressing into the left. And pressing into the right. Just letting those hips alternate, dipping. Pressing again into the left heel. And pressing again into the right heel. And then pressing into both heels. Pressing the heart toward the center of the earth. The heels toward the earth. The tailbone toward the head. Let's come forward into a plank position and adjust the stretchy shirt, keeping the elbows in close to the body, the legs close together, coming down nice and slow for one slow push-up, holding at the bottom here for a breath or so, and then pushing up nice and slow, raising those hips. Pressing back again through the palms, through the spine, into the tailbone, tipping that toward the back of the head, pressing into the heels, and then swinging that right foot forward into a nice deep lunge. Again, I like to bounce a little bit. You can bounce if you like to bounce. You can bounce if you want to. I try to minimize my breaking into song, or maybe I won't. Stepping forward with that back foot, hanging here again in forward fold, just letting the spine unwind. Let's do just a little twisting to the left, using the hands on the legs for support, and to the right, support and torque, and back to the center, and then rolling up, stacking one vertebrae on the next. Just checking in with the spine. Let's do a little wiggle jiggle. Shake that out. Some more. Let's do a little top to bottom tapping just to bring the whole body into coherence together. I'm going to tap on the head, Tapping is a great way to dissipate excess energy, rebalance energy, dislodge stagnant energy, and just bring your awareness into the whole body. I like to use 2 or 4 fingers gently on the face, around the eyes, sides of the eyes, under the eyes, over the sinuses. Remember to breathe and smile. I like to usually use 2 fingers above the upper lip, below the nose, and then again 2 or 4 fingers on the chin, under the lower lip, and then all fingers on the chest. To do some more rigorous tapping on my arms, where I tend to get a lot of numbness and pain and stagnation. Checking with the joints, shoulders, elbows, and wrists. That may sound a little more rigorous than you like, but coming from a martial arts background, feels good to me. Again, you do what feels good to you. Tapping on the other shoulder, elbow, and wrist. More of a slapping than a tapping, but again, it's what I like to do. You do what works for you. And on the wrists. Almost got some clap snaps back. My hands are still a little swollen from roofing, but they're recovering. Let's come down and do some drum checking in the torso, chest, and midriff around the organs. Organs are doing better today. I'm happy to report. Come down and checking through the belly and around the hips and the butt. I'm going to go ahead and roll down as I check in with the backs of the legs, checking in with the hamstrings, and the backs of the knees, and the backs of the calves, and the backs of the ankles. I'm just going to give those a little squeeze. Relaxing the belly into a full forward fold, coming around, pressing on those toes. Just again, bringing the whole body into cohesive coherence, checking in with the fronts of the ankles, the fronts of the shins. I'm going to roll up slowly, checking in with the knees. Give the knees a little knee love. Give the fronts of the thighs a little check. And we'll end back in the belly again. Let's just hold there on the belly for a breath or so. Bringing awareness again into the bottoms of the feet. Focusing on that core of the body, the dantian. Making sure to breathe and smile. Let's do a little balancing from here. I'm going to bring my weight onto the right foot. Bring the left knee up toward left shoulder. Relaxing that supporting foot and leg. Let's do a quick ankle rotation on the side for a good measure. And the other way. Let's do some medium circles with the knee. Again, just checking in with the whole body, giving it a little playful movement. Let's do big circles from the hips. This kind of motion can be done laying down as well, although you won't get the same balancing practice. Going the other way. Big circles with the hips. Again, toward the shoulder. I'm going to reach for the bottom of that shoe or boot or foot and bring that leg out front as straight as possible. Still making sure to relax that supporting leg and foot. Trying to tip the tailbone under a little bit. Trying not to counter lean to the other side and bringing this leg out to the left. I'm going to wiggle that around in the hip socket a little bit. Just for stretching. This can be done, of course, near a wall or doorway. For some reason, just the thought of support makes me want to fall over, but that's all right. I'm bending this leg, setting that foot on the supporting leg, Swinging this knee back, tipping the tailbone under. Looking for a nice long and strong line again through the torso. Bringing those arms up. And find a moment of peace, imagining myself a swaying tree on a strong mountain. Stomp that out a little bit. Bring my weight onto the left. I'm going to navigate the cracks on my tile floor. Bringing this right knee up toward right shoulder. Making sure to relax those shoulders. Let's do a little ankle rotation on this side. Whew. Still trying to tip that tailbone under. Staying nice and relaxed on that supporting leg and foot. Let's do some medium circles with that foot on knee and the other way. And then some big circles from the hip. Thank you for the love. I appreciate that. And the other way. Get to breathe and smile. Keep the breathing and the smiling going unless you want to hold your breath and scowl. That's your prerogative. You can try that too and let me know how it works out for you. Still relaxing those shoulders, tipping the tailbone under, relaxing that supporting foot, reaching for the bottom of the right boot and bringing that right leg out forward as straight as possible for a nice forward fold in the air. And then I'm going to release with the left, bringing that out to the right. And just play with that a little bit in the hip socket. Try not to counter lean or fall over. It's tricky some days. Helps to relax that supporting foot. And tuck the tailbone under a little bit, bending that knee, setting that foot on the supporting leg, swinging this knee back, still tipping that tailbone, and bringing arms up overhead, making sure not to crunch up in the shoulders. To imagine myself again, a swaying tree on a strong mountain. Releasing all of that. Shake that out a little bit more. Let's do some arm little circles with the hands on the wrists. And the other way, just checking in with the fingers, the wrist bones. Let's do some big circles. You can add the knees and breathing in on the way up. Nice big breath in. Releasing. Fill in the lungs and then letting go. Making room for the next breath. Let's wiggle, jiggle, shake that out a little bit more. Almost got my clap snaps back. That's good news for me. I hope you're enjoying good news for you. I hope you're enjoying your Saturday, making it whatever kind of day you want it to be. Remembering to take time to love yourself, be nice to yourself, breathe and smile. Remembering that your body's the one thing you can't live without, so hope you're taking good care of it. It's good to see you. Paul, hi. Thanks for stopping by. Peace.